The Packers are squarely in the middle of the NFC pack after their narrow win over the Saints Sunday. 7 teams are ahead of Green Bay right now in the standings, while 8 teams are equal to or behind them. If things had gone slightly differently yesterday, the pack would be 1-3. Of course, without replacement officials, they would be 3-1. As it is, they're 2-2, and very watchable for the good and the bad.
Like Coach say, he tell us all the time, what last year he used to tell us, we're an entertaining bunch. So, we just, however we can get it, man, to get the win, we determined, man, whatever the cost, whatever we got to go through.
We don't worry about that. We're frustrated just because the result is 0-4. How we got here, there's maybe been some bad luck along the way, but we got to hold ourselves accountable. And there's certainly things that we could have done better in all these games.
The Packers will not see first-year Colts coach Chuck Pagano on the sidelines when they visit Indianapolis on Sunday. Today, the Colts announced that Pagano will be out for several weeks after being diagnosed with a very treatable form of leukemia. So there is quite a backdrop for game number 5. It's Green Bay at Indianapolis, Sunday at noon here on your Packers station. We have a special post-game show immediately thereafter from Lucas Oil Stadium and the Fox 6 studios. And don't forget the Fox 6 Blitz every Sunday night at 10:35. The Badgers have Illinois on the Camp Randall turf Saturday afternoon. By then, they hope to be over fritting away an upset chance at Nebraska. Pulling Whitnell product Joel Stave for Danny O'Brien didn't work at quarterback late against the Cornhuskers.
With all due respect, I'm not going to answer this in any way but the truth. I think as a coach, you can't rethink that way as far as how you handled Saturday. As far as how we handle this Saturday, it's all about what we see this week.
A day for the Milwaukee Bucks, who are about a month away from playing NBA games that count. A focal point for the team is being sure that smaller guards, Brandon Jennings and Monte Ellis, can't be exploited on the perimeter. Ellis is going into his first Milwaukee training camp to figure out how to help keep that from happening.
That's going to be the biggest shock to the world, is when we get out there and we play the defense and have those big guys back there all on the same page, then we just let it speak for ourselves. We don't have to talk. We ain't got to try to prove nothing wrong. Only thing we got to do is go out there and just play our game.
And the Brewers will play 3 more games this baseball season, starting tonight against the San Diego Padres out at Miller Park. No playoffs this year.
So it's a done deal.
It's a done deal, but they made it interesting over the last month or so.
Yeah,
they did. Give them credit for that.
Despite fielding the 28th overall defense in the NFL, the Jacksonville Jaguars provided plenty of resistance for the Packers yesterday. It was particularly tough sledding for Alex Green in the run game. He's a try-hard guy, but totaled only 54 yards on 22 carries in Green Bay's 24-15 victory. And today, Coach Mike McCarthy assigns plenty of blame to Green for not getting some tougher yards. However, the more you look at what's happening on the field, it's hard to find many places for Green or anyone to run. Right now, it's not working.
We need to start attacking the apex and go and get a hard 4. That's what, hard 4 or 5, particularly early in games.
Making sure we're finishing blocks and getting the running backs to hit the hole, get some extra yards. It's not an easy thing to do, but we've shown in the past that we can get it done.
The Cardinals play at home tonight and then play at Green Bay on Sunday. We'll have that kickoff at noon here on Fox 6 with a special post-game show coming your way as well. Then we're all back in studio to break everything down on the Fox 6 Blitz at 10:35 p.m. And then it's bye week for Green Bay. The Badgers are off Saturday before visiting Indiana on November 10th. Between now and then, injury-plagued senior Kurt Phillips will battle Danny O'Brien to become the starting quarterback in the wake of Joel Stave's broken collarbone. For Phillips, it's a long-awaited chance to grab the brass ring.
I would think he's actually gotten better with a limited amount of practice time and, getting really heavy work days on Tuesday, Wednesday. I know there's probably not a kid that's invested more time to get on the field than Kurt Phillips on our football team.
Brewers left fielder Ryan Braun and third baseman Aramis Ramirez are in the group of 3 finalists for the Gold Glove Fielding Award at their respective positions. Also, pitchers Sean Markham and Francisco Rodriguez choose to become free agents today, as does shortstop Alex Gonzalez, who was a fielding whiz early in the season before suffering a knee injury. With young Gene Segura in line to be the starter at that spot next season, Gonzalez is banking on good health and more playing time elsewhere. And it happened late last night, but the San Francisco Giants have their second World Series championship in 3 years. They cap off a 4-game sweep of the Tigers with a 4-3 10-inning win and set off a pretty genuine celebration.
It seemed like all the pieces fit together. A lot of us kind of had the same mentality about the game. Nobody really stood out and wanted to, steal the spotlight.
Yeah, it's a great season. We got here. There's a lot of the teams that would love to be here. We played good to get here, and unfortunately, we didn't win it.
Prince Fielder doesn't get it. Bruce Bochy, the manager of the Giants, does. My favorite Bruce Bochy story is he used to manage the Padres. He got so mad in a game at County Stadium, he walked back to the Pfister Hotel, right down Wisconsin Avenue,
That was it.
stewing about it.
That's funny.
There you go.
That's awesome.
Already shifted from his normal left guard spot to right tackle because of injury and playing with a problematic right elbow, TJ Lang, number 70, gets knocked out of yesterday's Packers win over the Vikings with an ankle injury. Undrafted rookie Don Barclay, number 67, comes in for his first real playing time and fares well enough to help Green Bay improve to 8-4 on the season. Packers coach Mike McCarthy says today Lang's latest injury is not serious. He uses the same description for Jordy Nelson's hamstring problem, but admits the receiver will be hard-pressed to play Sunday night against Detroit. McCarthy also says that after a 3-for-4 field goal performance with one of those makes off the upright, plus an out-of-bounds kickoff, Mason Crosby remains Green Bay's kicker.
I'm not changing. I'm not wavering on Mason. He needs to make kicks. He needs to make the long kick. I expect him to make that kick before the half. But once again, we're just going to keep swinging because we're going to need Mason to make big kicks down the stretch here. We're in the fourth quarter of our season. He will be he'll be a big part of our success.
You probably recognize yesterday's referee at Lambeau, Ed Hockley. You may not have known he was born in Milwaukee, though. Hockley told me he lived in Whitefish Bay until he was about 8 years old, and he remembers being happy to be leaving the snow when his family moved south. This Sunday night, the Fox 6 Blitz moves back to a start time of 11:05 in order to provide you the most thorough reaction and analysis after Green Bay's Sunday night home game against the Lions. Badgers coach Brett Bielema is making no apologies for leading the first 5-loss team in history to the Rose Bowl. Bielema also expects some strong Wisconsin fan support in Pasadena, especially after Saturday night's destruction of Nebraska. By the way, despite his big game against the Huskers and his invitation to New York last year, Monty Ball is not a Heisman Trophy finalist this year. After their own uplifting victory Saturday night, the 8-7 Bucs play at New Orleans in about 45 minutes, and it will be noteworthy if they can win there. The last Milwaukee triumph in the Big Easy came in 2003 in the purple, with Dan Godzarich slamming off the pass from Desmond Mason and Tony Kukoc setting up Sam Cassell to hit from long range. So faces have changed since then. In the opinion of CBSSports.com's John Heyman, the Brewers are involved in some fashion with free agent outfielder Josh Hamilton during baseball's winter meetings. The club's public posture is that the acquisition of a big-time free agent is not likely. Josh Hamilton would certainly be a big-time free agent. And quick congratulations to Jimmy Bank, Traveling Secretary of the Year in Major League Baseball. The longtime Brookfield resident did that with the Cubs and then got let go by the Cubs.